lost 3 million players. I've been out of the loop because I've been basically going through Horizon Forbidden West and working on my review. So I haven't been able to catch up with some of these videos. So I realized that this is extremely late. Probably not as relevant anymore. But I'm still curious about watching it, so let's go.
Blizzard King earnings report reveals all the way at the bottom that Blizzard lost 3 million monthly active users in 2021, 2 million of them at the final quarter of the year. Wow, that's insanely bad. Wow, that explains why the game is that explains why the game is getting better.
Ain't that the sad truth? It's like you lose players, game somehow starts getting better. Game somehow starts getting better, dude. 3 million out of how many? Of 50, it's not a lot. Of 6, it's a lot. I think that their MAUs was like in the somewhere below the 30 million, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, it's a decent chunk.
Yeah, it sure does. Okay, so on average, they lost 21,000 monthly active users daily in the last quarter. Holy shit! I think whenever you break it down like that, it sounds a lot fucking worse, man. Like, that is just really fucking bad. Oh my god. Okay, they haven't released any new WoW content since July? I didn't even realize that. Okay, we have a number of new WoW news things that have happened, about 2 things, and I'm gonna go through both of them right now. So, number 1, the big fucking announcement today is that there is actually a World of Warcraft mobile game planned for 2022.
This was revealed like friggin' years ago, dude. Like, watch this. Jason Schreier Blizzard expose. Like, this is a long time ago. Here it is. The natural extension of that was, for example, developers told me quite a few people at Blizzard play Pokemon Go, the massively popular mobile game that lets you use your phone's camera to catch wild creatures. As one developer explained, the iconic orc statue of the center of Blizzard's campus is a Pokemon gym, and staff wage war over who gets to control the landmark on a daily basis. The natural extension of that was for one of Blizzard's incubation teams to develop a Warcraft version of Pokemon Go, which is in development for smartphones now. Surely it occurred to the decision makers at Blizzard that this Warcraft spinoff could be a massive revenue generator, but the game is also in production because lead designer Corey Stockton, formerly of World of Warcraft, is a huge fan of Pokemon. People who have played the Warcraft mobile game say it's also got a lot more to it than Pokemon Go, including single-player mechanics. That is what they're talking about with the Asmongold video here, the mobile Warcraft game planned for 2022. It's essentially Warcraft Go. It's, you know, Blizzard's idea of a World of Warcraft, you know, Pokemon type game, a Pokemon version, a Warcraft version of Pokemon Go. I can't speak today.
Straight up an actual, like, Blizzard said it. It's not somebody else that said it. And I want to also say, Tally was right. Everybody's saying Tally had no fucking idea what he was talking about? Well, surprise, it looks like he did. So guess what? The guy who lives in California and is personal friends with a lot of the people at Blizzard somehow happens to know a little bit more than everybody else. What a surprise. So look, this is the thing. Mobile World of Warcraft game planned for 2022. 4th quarter 2021.
It's not mobile World of Warcraft. It's mobile Warcraft game. This is not World of Warcraft on mobile.
Report. It's unclear if this game will be released in 2022 or simply open for beta testing, but we'll be looking for some new looking forward to some new mobile content this year. I hope you guys have your phones. Blizzard is planning a substantial new
Also, can I just ask, who the fuck is looking forward for Warcraft mobile content? Is there one person here that is interested? Just one? For mobile Warcraft content? You wanna tap on your phone? You wanna, you wanna get your little dopamine drip? You get to like fucking spin the vault. Just go like, yeah. You looking forward to that? Looking forward to that shit?
content.
It's exactly what I
playing
want.
substantial new content for the Warcraft franchise in 2022, and including new experiences in World of Warcraft, Hearthstone, and getting an all-new mobile Warcraft content into players' hands for the first time. So I've said before that mobile content for WoW is not necessarily a bad thing. A mobile content, a mobile app for like a pet battler, a mobile app for like a lot of the little different types of like chores,
it's not
like
WoW.
Maintenance chores that like WoW has. I think
it's not WoW. There's no way it's WoW, dude.
That's fine.
Because here's the thing. There's already a WoW mobile app. If there's going to be something that they put into, that is tied to World of Warcraft, it's going to go into that mobile WoW app. They're talking about all new mobile Warcraft content. Warcraft content, not just World of Warcraft, Warcraft content. Different thing.
This mobile thing for the Warcraft franchise, this is not going to be you raiding Mythic Sanctum of Domination or doing a plus 20 Mythic Plus, okay? You're not going to be doing either one of those in this mobile game. That's not what's happening here. This is something that's completely different. It might have some overlap into making sure that some of the World of Warcraft systems are functional in this new mobile app that they're trying to do, or they could actually be, and this is another thing, they could be completely doing a new game that is a mobile game that's just set in the Warcraft universe, and that could definitely happen as well. So it doesn't necessarily have to be something that's derivative of World of Warcraft. It could actually just be a completely new Warcraft IP that's being created for mobile. And in my opinion, again, I don't think that's a big deal. I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. Depends on how it's monetized, depends on how good the game is, etc. I've never been against Diablo Immortal, for example. The only thing I was against is Diablo Immortal instead of Diablo 4.
Well, that's disappointing.
I think that mobile games are completely fucking fine as long as they don't cannibalize the existing PC games. And I think that's what most people don't like to have happen, is whenever you have a game go to mobile, that's basically like you're moving it into a retirement home. Or actually, in this kind of case, it's a dairy farm so they can milk the fucking shit out of it. So nobody wants that. People want to have an actual good game, and they don't want to have these like mobile gotcha bullshit systems. This is not what we want. Does Blizzard have a very good track record? No, but I mean, we'll see what happens. Hopefully it's good. Hopefully it's
dude. This is the hardest thing for me. Like lately, this has been the hardest thing for me whenever I'm watching a World of Warcraft video. This is it really has become hard for me because so many of these creators are like, maybe it'll be good for everything, for literally everything that Blizzard is working on. Everybody's going like, maybe it'll be good. It's almost like you go to a restaurant, they serve you a shit sandwich, and you eat that shit sandwich. And you're just like, tastes like shit. But tell you what, I'll come back tomorrow. Maybe it'll be good. Dude, if somebody served you a shit sandwich at a restaurant, you'd never coming back. Good God.
Fucking good. The way it's worded, it sounds like they're not intending to make systems for the PC game manageable on your phone. I think that they might, because they're saying all new, including new experiences in World of Warcraft. I mean, maybe that new experiences means that like they're adding in a new system that you can do on your phone as well, or it's a new experience for mobile, which is something that exists in WoW. Like it depends on how you want to frame it. But I can see both ways.
I'm looking forward to another shit sandwich.
Here's the second thing that Blizzard said. In our Warcraft franchise, we intend to deliver more frequent premium content to sustain and expand the World of Warcraft community. We've made multiple And we've made multiple free-to-play Warcraft experiences, and they're now in advanced development based on our franchise's loved IP. This will create opportunities for both existing players and new fans to experience the Warcraft universe in entirely new ways. So this means that they're adding in mobile games that are not World of Warcraft. This is not World of Warcraft on mobile. This is a completely new game that's just set in the Warcraft universe.
Yes,
the game that they're having it for, let me see if I can, it's this one right here. We're going to open
There you
image.
go. There you go.
Save this image right here. There it is. Let's not save that one. So this one here, and what we want to do is we want to add in Garrosh WoW. And so we're just going to take that. So we're just going to save this image right here as well. I'm just trying to give you guys an idea of what this is going to look like. And so we take this, move this onto here, and I don't know how to use Microsoft Paint at all, so it didn't work. But really what I'm trying to say is that this game can be just a bunch of fucking bullshit, okay? Yeah, so this is basically probably about the same level it's going to be designed in, right? But look, all I'm saying is that these games are complete fucking garbage.
Yes.
They can be complete fucking garbage.
Yes.
Not that they are, but they can be complete fucking garbage. There is a good chance
that
the mobile game that they make...
Dude, I swear that recently Asmongold has been pulling his punches so fucking hard. It's like, I kind of feel like old school Asmongold would be like, yeah, this dog shit ass garbage, and he'd be done with it. He'd be done with it. Now he's like, they can be garbage. It's like, maybe it won't be. It's like, I don't understand why he's pulling his punches so much.
Is some free-to-play, pay-to-win bullshit. There is a 100% chance this could happen, but I don't know that it will. I don't think anybody really knows.
If there's a 100% chance it'll happen, how do you not know that it is? Come on.
That if it will. But based off of what we've seen before with a lot of mobile games, the track record isn't good. But again, they just announced it. We don't really have anything to go off of or to assume. So we will hopefully... I think that having a mobile game for WoW is a good thing. Or for Warcraft in general is a good thing. The more people that are able to interface with the franchise, the more people are able to maybe play the game and get involved with it.
Here's the thing. I'd be totally for this. I would be totally for this if World of Warcraft was in a good spot. If World of Warcraft was in a good spot, I would be 1,000% on board with this. I'd be like, yeah, sure, fine, whatever. Do some mobile thing, get some new players in. That'll be interesting. But right now, this mobile game that they're advertising is basically a trap. Because like if people get in on the game and then they eventually get hooked on World of Warcraft, they're going to be fucked. I mean, who the fuck can recommend World of Warcraft in its current state to literally anybody? How?
It's good for the community, and I think it's good for the game. It's good for the existing player base. It's good for pretty much everybody. But of course, if they turn this into a pay-to-win, bullshit, cash shop, garbage heap, then no.
You mean like this little-known game called World of Warcraft? You mean like that? You mean like that? If they make this mobile game be essentially like the big flagship title, is that what we're saying?
It will be bad. That's basically it. Please make it simple. That's the important part. Yeah, make the game simple. That's the most important thing I want to say, is that if the game is not simple, then people are not going to play it, because mobile games thrive on simplicity. They thrive on simplicity and just very simple gameplay. It doesn't need to be something crazy. Look at Flappy Bird. You know, you didn't need a conduit energy for Flappy Bird, did you? You didn't need deadly boss mods for Flappy Bird. You just played the game. That's about it. So that's the way I feel about it. Mobile game will push revenue for the WoW IP, and they will not make the real game better. Rip WoW. Well, I mean, it's in the same place that it's in now then, right? I mean, fuck. So yeah, I mean, if it's good, great. If it's not, fuck. Mobile games do kind of give me a little bit of pause, but I'll try to approach this with an open mind, and we'll see what they actually bring out. And after that, I will play it, and we'll see how it is. Also, I would hope that you can play the mobile games on PC. This is like just a little thing, but I would...
Blizzard's going to change their tagline to, "Do people have BlueStacks?" That's what they should have said. That's what they should have said back at the stage in Diablo Immortal. You know, when, what was his name? Lord something. Guy comes out and he's like, "Is there going to be a PC version for this at all?" And he's like, "Don't you guys have BlueStacks? Just use BlueStacks. It's whatever. We don't give a fuck." And the World of Warcraft players and actually the Diablo players would go like, "No, Blizzard, we don't have BlueStacks. You know what we have? We have blue balls. That's what we have. Blue balls from the lack of content that you've developed in this franchise, which hasn't seen a fucking new entry in..." When was Diablo 3 released? What was the Diablo 3 release date? Diablo 3 release. Diablo 3 was released in 2012. We literally haven't seen a new entry in this franchise in 10 fucking years. And guess what? Before 2012, it was another 10 fucking years. So yeah, if they were to ask, "Do you guys have BlueStacks?" I think the Diablo franchise, the Diablo fandom could very adequately answer, "No, we got blue balls. We got decade-old blue balls. That's what we got."
Really like to be able, because I don't like playing games on my phone. It's fucking annoying. So if I could play it on my PC, that would be great. Even if I could play Diablo Immortal on my PC, I think that would be great. You can? Okay, great. Well, I mean, like, not without downloading some extra app or whatever, but just being able to do it. Yeah, no app or anything like that. No program.
BlueStacks.
It just it has functionality. So we'll see. You can on Windows 11. Really? Okay, I didn't know that. Yeah, I think I still have Windows 10, I'm pretty sure. So anyway, that's the main thing that happened today, is a new Warcraft game. Actually, they said multiple mobile free-to-play Warcraft experiences. And they're now in advanced development. So we're going to be seeing these games come out very, very soon.
Free-to-play from Blizzard.
I don't know about how long,
baby.
but I think we can easily expect that we're going to have at least one of these mobile games out before the end of the year. Yeah, simplicity is key. That's all that matters. Simplicity, not all that matters. That's the main thing that matters, is simplicity is good. Anyway, let's talk about some other stuff. So, tier set acquisitions. Why? This is stupid. Now, are tier tokens tradable if I have an equipped item of the same higher level in that token slot? Like, you need to have soulbound tier piece of equivalent or higher level to trade tier pieces. The same applies to tokens. Like, it's just, again, Blizzard trying to...
Here's what Blizzard is doing, okay? Imagine that... Wait. Here's what Blizzard's doing with this mechanic right here. So imagine that this is, interestingly enough, this is a Hearthstone cloth that I got from, like... It's actually a really good cloth. I use it to wipe my glasses. But it's like, this is a Hearthstone cloth, right? So imagine that instead of this being a Hearthstone cloth, imagine that it's just a stone. It's just a stone, right? And here's what Blizzard is doing with this implementation here with the token pieces. If you're not being able to trade with your friends, here's what, like, and then a couple of droplets of blood come out. They're squeezing blood from a fucking stone is what they're doing. It's fucking terrible, but that is exactly what they're doing. They're squeezing blood from a stone. The only reason they do this shit and why they don't just implement Loot Master is because they believe they can keep players playing for longer. It has nothing to do with little Timmy who got his fucking, his fucking loot ninja looted by somebody. It has nothing to do with those players. And if you think that Blizzard gives two shits about little Timmy Academy who got his shit ninja looted. They fucking don't, okay? You're deluding yourself. You're a fucking imbecile if you think that's the case. They did it because it's easier for them to not have to deal with as many GM tickets, but also, and mostly, because it keeps players playing for longer periods of time, basically squeezing blood out of a stone. Otherwise, they just give you fucking master loot.
Micromanage players. We are once again being micromanaged by Blizzard. Why? Yeah. There is no why. It's probably because, well, the world first race, but top end. Who gives a fuck what the top end guilds do? Who cares? Just let people, if they get a piece of gear, trade the gear. It's that simple. It should stop right there. It is literally that simple to me. If you get a piece of gear, you can trade the gear, period. You're done. It's finished. It's over. That's it. Yes, that's all there is to it. Let the children, let the kids play. Just let people trade the gear. It's not a big deal. Cross-realm advertising. Now, Blizzard has multiple times we've had a little bit of an issue with the boosting in World of Warcraft. So let's talk about that. Blizzard has provided clarification on their new boosting policy. If a guild wishes to partake in cross-realm boosting, if a guild had advertisers spamming on and cross-realm for their guild sales, would that be fine? That would not be fine. There it is. Apparently fucking not. They provide to provide more clarity to those who have been wondering where the lines are drawn in this new policy, we'd like to summarize that part of it. Advertising for gameplay activities should be done by a WoW player character who intends to participate in the gameplay activities. That means that there should be no cross-realm advertising, and there should be no advertising from non-participating players. And I can pretty much guarantee you why this is. It's because people are trading the gold around, and there's so many large trades that it's harder for Blizzard to figure out who's RMTing and who's not. So it creates more trades like this and false positives, and it's harder for Blizzard to figure out what's happening. What if the player is participating but not the character? That's probably going to be completely fine. I think it's like common sense stuff. Yeah, it's probably going to be fine. I don't know, maybe not, but I think so. And as before, the only place that advertising for gold activity is allowed is the trade channel. Advertising in any other chat channel or the group finder makes the player subject to actions against their account. So Blizzard is actually coming out pretty fucking hard against this whole boosting stuff. I'm really kind of surprised about it, especially considering how they've just turned a blind eye to it for so long. But now they're just saying that would not be fine. Like, it's very passive-aggressive in a way. It's like this is written by somebody who's just fucking had enough. You know what I mean? Like, they just did a raid for Heroic Sanctum of Domination, and they invited 10 people with ahead of the curve, and 2 of them didn't know how to do Eye of the Jailer, and the rest of them didn't know how to go any farther than even that, and they're pissed off, and they're each doing 2k DPS. So yeah, he's had a fucking enough, or she's had a fucking enough working at Blizzard dealing with these clowns. And so now they're changing it. Thank God. Thank fucking God. The truth is that boosting is I was way more fine with boosting before we had the WoW token. But now that we've got the WoW token, boosting is pay to win. WoW is a pay to win game. It is. Because you can pay real money and buy gold, and then you can buy gold and have the gold, and then buy items with the gold. Like, that's pay to win. It is. Like, there it is. It's not any more complicated. There's not like an asterisk next to it. No, it's just pay to win. That's it. Pay to win. Done. So it's just like Lost Ark. Yeah, it's probably more pay to win than Lost Ark, actually. But you can also win without paying. Okay. So yeah, it's still pay to win. And so, yeah, that's basically the way I feel about it.
The copium.
And yeah, I'm glad that they're doing this. I would...
The fuck is RNT? It's not RNT, it's RMT. And that, it means real money transactions.
Love to see them get rid of the WoW token. Like, that would be... Like, if Blizzard actually gets rid of the WoW token, as I said, I'll buy every single store mount. And on top of that, I would actually have faith in the game. I would genuinely have way more faith in the game if they banned the WoW token. Will that happen? Probably
never gonna happen.
But I think that's what a lot of people believe. Because
never
it's them
gonna
actually like
happen.
taking a pay cut to preserve the integrity of the game. which is something that we haven't really had happen.
Blizzard doesn't give a
recently.
fuck
Don't
about
do
the
that,
integrity
bro.
of the
We need
game.
WoW token. What do you need it for? What do you need WoW token for? Why? What do you need it for? We're poor? If so what? So the game should just get ruined because you're poor? Should ruin the game? No. That's not how it works. You can still buy game time for gold, even if you don't have a WoW token. You just have to, do it illegally. That's how it used to always be. And I use my gold for sub. I use the WoW token. Yeah, there you go. I know there's obviously people that will be negatively affected by this, but I feel like the WoW token has been...
It's like, look, let's just make one thing perfectly clear for whenever this argument comes up, because this argument comes up all the fucking time. It's like, but Rurikhan, I pay my sub with the WoW token. The WoW token's actually very convenient for me, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, okay, and for every one person that is legitimately paying their World of Warcraft sub with the WoW token, there's like 50 people that are abusing the World of Warcraft token to skip in-game mechanics, to pay for boosts, to pay for items, and to basically pay to win their way through the game. Okay? For every one person that buys the WoW token with gold to pay for their sub fee, there's literally 50 people that are using it to basically drive the integrity of the game into the ground. And I'm very sorry if there's going to be people that are not going to be able to play the game if the WoW token gets removed, but guess what? It's not a game worth playing while the WoW token is there to begin with, so it is what it is. I'm sorry. I know that this is not going to be a particularly interesting take, that a lot of people are not going to appreciate that, but...
a net negative effect in the game for a long time. And I think that it's just made itself worse and worse and worse. And boosting has not really been removed. It's just been compartmentalized and localized. This is definitely an improvement, and this is definitely something that I'm glad to see, but boosting is still very much alive and well in pretty much every single different server. So it's important to keep that in mind too. This is not the end, and we'll see what happens. It's impossible to remove boosting completely. Yeah, it's always impossible. It's impossible to remove anything completely. I mean, you can't prevent murder, remove murder 100% either, but there's still a law against it. You still try to minimize it. That's the whole point. You can never, it's never about removing something completely. It's about reducing how often it can occur. What do you think about making things a bit more accessible to players? Mythic raids are relatively hard. Takes a long time even for the above average player. Gear and titles and mounts are great. A bad FOMO for players and completionists. Would it be better to give appearances of gear in heroic and mythic? I've said many times that I think the mythic raids are too hard. They're not too hard for me. I'm a 31-year-old boomer and I can still fucking do the mythic raids. But that doesn't mean that most other people have the time for it, right? I think there's a lot of people that don't have the time for it. The fights are very...
If most people don't have time or dedication to do World of Warcraft mythic raids, here's what they do. They don't do World of Warcraft mythic raids. No. I was only able to get a static set up for Endwalker. Guess what I did before Endwalker? I didn't do Savage Raids and Ultimates. No. And I still had a blast playing the fucking video game.
There's like a lot of personal responsibility. Like the fights have gotten way harder over the years. That's what I'm really trying to get at. Like you go back and you look at a fight in Burning Crusade and Wrath and Classic for sure, and it is a completely different fucking universe in terms of the amount of things that you have to pay attention to, the mechanics that are occurring, and just in general the gameplay expectations of every single person in the raid. Cataclysm, it got a bit harder, but I think that we really do have very, very difficult raids to the point now where it is probably too hard. It's probably too hard. I'd like to see them make the raids a little bit easier and give more people a chance to do it. Sure. I'd actually like, this is what I'd really like to see. I'd like to see Blizzard make the raids easier, and I'd also like to see them remove combat add-ons. Like DBM, weak auras, big wigs, delete them. Get rid of them. Fucking just put them...
Okay, now see, this part I can definitely get behind. This part I can definitely get behind. If they're making it easier as something to get rid of the garbage ass add-ons, then I can get behind it. I 100% can get behind it. Because garbage ass like DBM, like I'm sorry, DBM has also a net negative impact on the game.
In the garbage. That's it. It's done. And because of that, the fights will have to become a little bit easier because you don't have those third-party tools. And I think that will just kind of make the game better. It will just simply make the game better. That's a boomer take right there? No, it's not. Think about it. It's a true take. It's a real...
Some fucking asshole on Copium is just like fucking snorting DBM bullshit raids, and he's going like, boomer taker, it's a boomer taker. Yeah, you're so fucking smart. Yeah, you're so fucking smart that you have to wait for an add-on to tell you, run away, little girl, so that you know that you have to run away from a fucking AoE, because the game does not have the tools in place to actually tell you that a big AoE is coming. Interesting take from Asmongold's Gigabrain chatter over there.
Take that's also true. Why would it be fair to remove challenge to the highest level players? Just remove LFR difficulty. Have 2 difficulties again. Not everyone needs to do Mythic. I agree. So yeah. You take the hardest fights in Mythic and it's...
get rid of LFR. Again, that's another one I can sign up on. Sorry, dude. LFR has bred a worst class of players. And 1,000% is bred because people jump into LFR. They're not even looking to learn literally anything about the fight. They're looking like, oh, I'm gonna jump in and press buttons. Oh, it's gonna be great. So you have these bosses with these mechanics that hit like a fucking wet noodle that do nothing. And it's just completely fucking worthless. And it's a worthless fucking experience. It's like playing fucking Dynasty Warriors in World of Warcraft. There's the bunch of people fucking zerging on this boss, and the boss dies. Like, that's LFR difficulty. Like, you have no fucking idea what you're doing. You have no fucking idea what is actually happening. Everybody's just like running in, I can press buttons, which is a completely shitty fucking experience for everyone involved as far as I'm concerned. Like, I think that people who've only ever done LFR, like, they actually don't know how good the normal raids can actually be. But, yeah.
Like, okay, that's too much. You take the easiest fights in LFR, you say, okay, that's too much as well. And then you move it to where there's just 2 difficulties. There's like normal and heroic. And if they want to do a story mode later on with LFR, that's fucking
make
fine.
Heroic harder.
I think the main problem with LFR is the gear and how it invalidates.
See, that's actually a good idea. You make heroic harder, and heroic just becomes the advanced difficulty. And you have like 2 difficulties, and that's it. And to be honest, that's not even the best way. The best way of actually doing it, you guys know what I'm going to say. You guys, I mean, come on. You guys have been here for a while. What's the best way of actually doing it, chat? Can one of you guys say what's the best way of doing it? Because it's already been done. It's already been done in World of Warcraft. The best way of doing it has actually already been done in World of Warcraft. Come on, give me an answer here in chat. Come on, chat. Come on, chat. Come on, baby. Give me an answer. The best way of doing it. Is nobody going to say it? I'm so sad. I'm so fucking sad. There it is. Gigablazar Ulduar. Ulduar is the best fucking way to do it. 1,000%. And I'll hear nothing else. I'll hear nothing else. Anybody can argue, oh, but Rurikhan did this, did that. No, fuck you. Ulduar was 1,000% the best way to do it. Don't give me no bullshit about Heroic and Mythic and LFR. Ulduar was the way. Ulduar was fucking peak World of Warcraft rating. It was the pinnacle of World of Warcraft rating, and it's been downhill ever since. It's that simple. Explain Ulduar. Okay, so the way that difficulties worked in Ulduar is, say, for instance, I'm going to explain it with the, what's his name, Toymaker? The no boss. So the way that it works is like, so there's this boss, and you'd go into the boss room, and the boss is there, and you engage the boss. The boss has a phase in which you have to deal damage to its heart. And if you deal enough damage to the heart explodes and the boss triggers hard mode. And that's how the hard mode works. So if you don't want to get hard mode, you tell your DPSers to, I mean, when you first started raiding Ulduar, you probably wouldn't have enough DPS to even get to hard mode. So you just do the fight normally. When the heart comes out, you deal as much damage as you can to the heart, but you would rarely ever break the heart because, you just wouldn't have enough damage. But as you started getting better and better gear, you'd eventually be able to actually break the boss's heart midway through the fight. And if you did that, then that triggers hard mode. And then the boss just like triggers a different difficulty mode that is just harder. He hits harder. He had new abilities. He had new things, and you had to pay attention to new and interesting mechanics. And there were more things like that throughout the other fights. Like I think in Thorim, you don't go to the hallway to stop the summoning of things or whatever, and that would trigger the hard version of that fight. In Mimiron, it was just a big red button. It would have a thing that you would just press a button, and that would just trigger hard mode. So there's like different ways of triggering hard modes. And then for the final boss, you could actually do the final boss in like 4 or 5 difficulty settings, depending on which of the other titans you would rescue throughout the dungeon. So there was tons of difficulty modes involved with Ulduar, but all of them were organic. There was no bullshit about like, oh, here's the heroic version, here's the mythic version. It's like, no, shit was organic. It was fucking organic, dude. And that's the way, that was the best way, because there wasn't no fucking, oh, I'm saved for normal and you're saved for heroic and we gotta go to mythic, and like, Jesus fucking Christ. Ulduar was the pinnacle. It was the best. Just go back to that. It's so fucking good.
It's previous raid tiers of gear and previous types of stuff. So, yeah, just normal and heroic. We don't need 4 raid difficulties. I think most people can agree on that. 4 is way too fucking many. Yeah. Well, cannot telegraph mechanics. Final Fantasy XIV need to revamp engine. You don't need to make it telegraphed like Final Fantasy XIV. All you need to do is have less mechanics that you don't have to react to in a 0.1 second. And then if you have that, you can make the game a little bit easier, and people don't need to use add-ons for it. Like, I didn't use add-ons until Siege of Orgrimmar, and the only reason I did that is because of Siegecraft or Blackfuse, and my guild made me use them. I never used add-ons or any DBM until then. Now, why do you think
I don't believe
rewards offer like currency, like justice instead of gear? Yeah, I think that'd be fine. Something like that. Are you for real, dude? No, I'm not real. Of course not. Get good, don't ask for an easier game. That's such a stupid opinion. Oh, get good. Get good. Like, there's just never any conversation about making the difficulty in a game better or more fair or designing it in a better way.
Depends on the game.
Like, hard is good, easy is bad. Shut up. Shut up. Heroic is too easy, though. People get bored. Yeah, I agree. That's why I think it should go into mythic difficulty as well. Absolutely. I didn't say every mythic fight is too hard. I'm just saying like these like ridiculous fucking mythic fights at the end of the tier that you have to spend like 10 minutes doing of like perfect gameplay, and they have to nerf 5 times for guilds to be able to do. Just cut that shit out. You're wasting your fucking time designing that garbage. Yeah, you think the game would overall be more fair if WoW completely restricted users from using add-ons? No, I just think it's the combat add-ons. Those are the only ones I don't like. Use add-ons equals get good. So you're pro-casual? I want to make the game better. I'm not pro-casual or pro-hardcore player or anything like that. I just want to make the game better. I want the game to be better because then there's going to be more people that play the game, and that's more people for me to show off my mounts to. That's really what the case is. It's an end boss. Why can't it be hard? I didn't say it can't be hard. I just said it's too hard. Yeah, I didn't say that. Is it, though? Yeah, it is. That absolutely is. Like, in my opinion, I think that the main reason why Cataclysm was the first time that WoW started losing players is because the raids were too hard. If you raided back in ICC and back in TOC, you would know that you just bring in the boys, you get that 30% buff, and you just go to town. Woo! Get that loot. And it was great. But Cataclysm came out, and you had raids that were way fucking harder. The Cataclysm raids were exceptionally harder than any of the shit that we had seen before, except for something maybe like Yogg Zero Light or maybe like Lich King without the buff. Like, why is that bad? The reason why it's bad is that the entire game should not be built to accommodate for the highest skill level. The end-game PvE activities in the game that reward you the best gear should not be built to accommodate the top 5% of players. It's a bad idea. You should have raids that are more fair, raids that are a little bit easier, a little bit more relaxed, and that way more people can do them and progress through them. It's not like this is some kind of big dick flex. I have the Sinestra achievement for Immortal, where you kill Sinestra with nobody dying. I have the same one for Ra Den, too. I was like one of the best raiders back then. I had multiple like really high parses back then. I was a great player. I don't need to prove anything by saying these raids were hard. I've got the videos. I've got the titles. That only favors the devs and 1%, not devs and the player count, not the 1%. Yeah, I think it should favor the devs and the player count over the 1%. Absolutely. It's bad to have progress, tens of hours on Mythic Boss. It's fine to grind tens of hours of mindless content in leveling in TBC. Well, yeah, I think so. I think that progressing on a Mythic Boss over and over and over and wiping 300 times is generally less fun than just leveling a character in Burning Crusade. Yeah, I would pretty much say so. Yeah, I would say so. Absolutely.
Depends on how fun the boss fight is. It's all about what the quality of the raid that is being designed. At least that's the way I look at it. It's like if the fight is fun, I don't think it's a problem. I mean, didn't it take Rich like 70 hours to clear T? The 70 hours of progression, right? I think that's fun. I don't know.
Gap between normal and mythic is too big. Yeah, it's too much, man. It's way too fucking much. And the problem is that the game keeps getting harder because you have these people with little dicks that have to, they have to show off how good they are at the game while they have 3 add-ons that are playing it for them and 5 weakors that are doing the same thing that tells them, you're standing in bad, move. And these are the same people that are talking about other players getting good. I can guarantee you the raids would immediately get better if Blizzard didn't have to do an arms race with add-on developers every fucking expansion. I don't even see how this is a controversial opinion. Even Scripe from Echo agrees with me. Like, yeah. There's a clip of him playing Final Fantasy and saying, you know what, I didn't originally think this, but now I do. Absolutely. It's not even 1%, it's hundreds of guilds over the course of the patch. That's still 1%. Do you think Final Fantasy model is good to fix WoW's difficulty problem? Not necessarily. Yeah, the net result of removing combat add-ons and making easier raids would have the same net result in difficulty, in my opinion, wouldn't change that much. Well, good. That's a good first place to start. Let's start there, see what happens. That's what I'd like to see. Yeah, I don't have time to find people for normal raids. I need to queue LFR and experience the new raids, otherwise I won't. Sure, but I just don't want to have you get rewarded with good gear that's better than the previous stuff in the last patch. Because whenever that happens, it invalidates the work that everybody else did before you. Yeah, that's the difference. When will good games be a thing again? I don't know.
Here's the thing. Blizzard never really gave the players the chance to queue into a normal difficulty raid. Right? I don't think Blizzard ever gave the players the chance to do that. If you look at 14 lets you queue into these raids, and a lot of these raids have mechanics that will wipe you. The difference is 14 expects you to just communicate with the other players so that you understand the mechanics. Whereas Blizzard is like, okay, so if we get these people all in a queue, they're going to be fucking stupid and they're not going to know what they're doing. So we have to make the difficulty easier. Blizzard never gave them a shot. Blizzard never trusted their player base to be good enough to clear a normal raid in a match made pug. Whereas 14's like, hey, here's the raid. If you make it, you make it. If you don't, you don't. It's that simple. It's just that simple. And the player base basically banded together and like, okay, so let's look at this mechanic that is happening now. Okay, so for this mechanic, you have to stand closer to the boss. For this mechanic, you have to stand further away from the boss. It's not fucking rocket science, it's a raid. So long as you're communicating the mechanics properly to the players, then it's fine. The problem was that Blizzard also never communicated mechanics properly to the players. I remember when I raided in World of Warcraft, a lot of the times I would see a fucking mechanic in game, and unless DBM would actually tell you what is actually happening, the game does a piss poor job of telling you. And almost like every raid, I've had situations where I would die and I'd be like, what the fuck just happened? Like, what in the actual fuck just happened? It's like, oh, you were second on threat. And there wasn't any way in the game to see if I was second on threat. It's like, how the fuck should I know if I'm second on threat? Get more aggro. If I'm playing DPS or something like that, I don't fucking know. Because there was no way. There was no way for you to actually see the threat. You needed an add-on to see the threat. You needed fucking Omen threat meter or whatever the fuck it was called. That's the problem. Is that World of Warcraft is always shit at communicating its mechanics to players, and then Blizzard never even gave players a chance to figure shit out. They're just like, yeah, y'all are dumb. Here's this easy mode that fucking blows.
Oh, maybe in 4 days, maybe tomorrow with PoE, we'll have to see. How about LFR rewards no gear? I think it should reward a currency where you can buy gear like Valor points. I think that'd be fair. Is it true that you couldn't clear Ultimate Final Fantasy XIV and had to quit permanently? Yes, that's true. That is true. I don't get the complaining. How can we change something? Well, just give Blizzard your feedback. I feel like it'd be easier for them to design fights. I feel like it would be better for Blizzard. This is my opinion, right? I actually think it would be easier for Blizzard to design fights if they didn't have to deal and think about combat add-ons. If they didn't have to develop combat add-ons and develop around combat add-ons, I feel like that would make their job easier. Now, I don't know about that, but that's just what would make sense to me. Raids are designed for add-ons right now. You can't play the game without add-ons. Makes no sense to say add-ons play the game for people. I haven't done the current raid on Mythic, so I can't really say if you need add-ons. It's hard to say. I would assume you probably don't, but, maybe you do at a really high level. It depends. But, what I'm saying is that the add-ons in the game make the game worse. I think that they make the game worse. It is such a contrived way of playing the game that you are downloading a bunch of add-ons in order to give you the knowledge that the game should give you on its own. It's a bad idea. Remember Mistress and Tumas Argeris? The Weaker was basically mandatory? Yeah, for every guild except Vision, right? You don't need add-ons. You can use voice lines. If you play a boss many times, you don't even need to look at them anymore. Yeah, I think that's true too. You're so fucking wrong. If you don't realize WoW retail is trash because they tried to cater to the mass, you're just having an irrational take because you don't want to take the extra step of downloading an add-on. Next, don't get on Discord because it's an extra advantage. Ridiculous. Listen, son. I've been raiding the hardest content in this game before you were born. You're probably in elementary school, playing with crayons. Whenever I was getting some of the first kills on my server. Whenever I was one of the top players for achievements. Whenever I was raiding and killing the Lich King. You were thinking about kangaroos and Blue's Clues. Why don't you shut your damn mouth? Pathetic. Killed Lich King on 10-man heroic? LOL? Yeah, it was hard to kill Lich King on 10-man heroic, it was. And I only got better from there. I also got Realm First challenge modes in Mists of Pandaria. How about that? Yeah, Lich King heroic 10-man was hard. It was a hard fight. You fell off now, so you can't do the content? I didn't fell off. I jumped off. The truth is, I'm a massively successful streamer. I own a company. I
always find it interesting when people feel like you need to prove yourself. You need to basically continuously prove yourself nonstop. Like your past achievements don't matter. Like you have to always prove that you can still do the thing. Like forever and ever, always prove that you can still do the thing. Like no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You got to be able to do it. And if you can't do it, it's because you can't do it. It's not because you don't want to do it. Nobody ever thinks about, players that were potentially good at some point. Maybe they just don't feel like doing the things that they've done a million fucking times before. It's interesting that nobody ever thinks about that. It's like, hey, maybe I don't feel like doing it. Maybe I could. Maybe I just don't feel like doing it. It's always like, oh, you're making it up. You can't fucking do it. Oh man, it's like Jesus Christ.
If only I could be so grossly incandescent.
Valdrath, thank you very much for being real incandescent for 15 months. Tip of the hat. Appreciate support. But it's like people need to understand that after you've played a game in a certain way that is somewhat challenging, you know, if you've done that consistently, then you do get to a point where you're just like kind of tired. You're kind of tired of doing that repeatedly, you know? Like if you were to ask me, oh, Rurikhan, I bet you can't beat like fucking, like you did the Miyazaki tribute run, bet you can't do that again. It's like, I probably could, but do I really want to? No, I don't. I'm good. Oh man. By the way, no podcast this week. No, guys. Gaijin is like addicted to Final Fantasy 14. There's no like news about Monster Hunter. And Final Fantasy XIV is all that Gaijin can think about. Like, yesterday I logged into Final Fantasy XIV. I just wanted to, like, do a quick expert roulette. And I ended up doing the entirety of the Eden raids. Well, not the entirety. We went from 8... I went from E8... From E8 to, like, E12, I think. We did it all. And, yeah, it's like, I just wanted to do an expert roulette. That's all I wanted. I ended up doing from E8 to E12. Yeah, Tummy Giggles was there.
Own a house, and I have a lot of other things and responsibilities in my life that take precedence over raiding and WoW. I simply don't have the time for it anymore. Yeah. What do you want me to say? But either way, I kind of got off topic here. Really what I'm saying is that I'm glad that they get rid of the this boosting stuff, and I hope that they continue doing this. Yeah, I do. I really hope they continue getting rid of boosting and making boosting less of a factor in WoW. And just in general, I think the WoW token makes it so... It like devalues people's accomplishments because you have people spending real money for achievements in game, and I think that just... like, it makes people feel like shit. So hopefully they'll be able to get rid of that, and I'm glad Blizzard is trying to finally push back on it. So hopefully this happens, but I'm glad Blizzard, it seems, has had enough with boosting. Thank God. It's really too little too late. No, it's not. People are always going to come back for the next expansion. Like, Shadowlands was the best wasn't it like the best-selling PC game of all time or some stupid shit like that? There are so many people that are going to fucking play the game. Yeah, yes, it was. Like, do you really think people aren't going to come back for the next expansion? Absolutely.
Meanwhile, while Blizzard is busy running their mouth, talking about how, oh, we're not going to deal with boosting, we're not going to deal with boosting, Creative Business Unit 3 is going like, okay, here's the actions that we have taken because we have confirmed the existing players who are engaging in these illicit activities. We've taken the following actions. Accounts terminated, 2,700. Accounts temporarily suspended, 20. Botting activities, excluding RMT vendors. Accounts temporarily suspended, 4. RMT advertising, 192 accounts. This was in, I believe, is this Europe? Because there's 2 of these posts. One of them is for Europe, and the other one is for... Yeah, see, there's another one here. February 10th. Accounts terminated, 1,382. Accounts temporarily suspended, 10. Accounts terminated, 216. Like, while World of Warcraft is the, yeah, we're gonna deal with this problem right here. Square Enix is just like handing out bans like they're going out of style, baby. Oh, man.